Okay, perfect. I'm not 100% sure that we are alive. We are alive, yes, but I
We
don't
are
know.
live. I think I see a live button up there.
Yeah, yeah, we are alive.
Is there already somebody in the stream?
Okay, perfect. I don't know, but we will kick off this session.
Okay.
Hey everyone, last week we talked about how to go to a new market, and Fabio talked about expansion to Saudi, and we talked about how the idea of going to a new market, what other factors you need to think of. It's not just they have projects. But today we'll talk about the thing that I see that most of the studios I go to, they miss in the first place. They come to me saying, I want to go to a new market. And they ignore totally the market they already have. Example, I saw someone, a studio, they said one of the problems is they lost three of their clients. And out of nowhere, for 3 months, they never really heard back from them or got zero inquiry from them. And they were wondering why. And a simple question I asked them, did you ask the client why? And they said, well, no, no one followed up, no one contacted the people. And they said, yeah, I simply asked them. 3 months, it is already enough for them to get a new project or get a new inquiry, and they might already have someone else doing the same thing, or maybe they are doing it in-house. So you need to figure it out. Another client said, Anis, I want to go to Australia. I can provide you with the video to the interview with this great client. He said, Anis, I want to go to Australia. My market is really burned out and it's not really profitable. And they said, okay, let's try to fix the market now. And just by 4 months, we fixed like the revenue plus the profit. And he gained 70% revenue increase in 4 months, just from the same market that he already saw as burned out. Now, today is not me talking about this thing. It is Lasse's talk. He is expanding in Germany since 20 years, and he will help you today into expanding in the same market and fixing the um, root cause of how to turn from an order taker to a partner. So, Lasse, welcome. Great to have you again. Um,
Yes.
Please start this session. It is your place.
Yeah. Thank you for inviting me again to this little circle. Well, yes, as Anis said, there are many ways to expand, and today I would focus on one of them, which is, like Anis introduced, the art of of creating a power circle, which means becoming somebody your clients like to work with and basically see you as a partner or part of their infrastructure. I have brought some slides with me to accompany my talk, and which would make it a little bit better to understand.
Yeah.
And it's very brief, but I would just share it, right?
Okay, perfect. What is interesting for me is for the viewer to know what is the one thing they will learn today. If you can just summarize in a sentence.
Basically, basically, it's the best the best thing, or the biggest part of it is how to look on your client base and on your workflow, and how to order them in a way to figure out which would be worth to focus on and go on with, and putting something together which you would then in the end regard as a power circle, or the, the
Yeah,
magic the magic bond, or whatever you might call it. Uh,
perfect, perfect.
yes,
So I
I will
like
share. Yeah.
very much
Sorry.
the I like very much the I would say the term power circle. Okay, so for the viewer, they will learn how to evaluate their network and see who deserves to join my power circle
Mhm.
and who does not.
Okay. I share my screen now.
Mhm.
It's just a short presentation, so it's just 5 slides. So, but to have something uh, to clinch on, I will just show it here. So, well, I just put here basically the same old story, how all of us might work or might have been working like all the time when we are doing renderings. You know, we deliver the JPEG for the paycheck, so it's very straightforward. And that's basically how everybody would start. You know, you're posting your works online, you get referrals, you're posting ads, you would get inbound inquiries. And you see my mouse actually here?
Yeah.
Okay.
If it is possible to present the slides, so we see only the slide.
Do you see more than the slides?
I mean, if we can have only the slide without the settings.
That's interesting. Okay, I just have to get out here and share my screen again.
And if you are watching this, please type hi in the chat so we know you are here and we are now.
It's now better? You see the slide?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah? Perfect.
Thank you, yeah.
Good. Great. Yes. Where was I? Okay, you get the inbound lead, you pitch your offer, and in many cases you are not the only one who they would have been asking. So you might not get the job, your offer gets rejected, or you do the project and start over again. And it's basically all the same thing, which might be okay for some time, but at one point you might realize, okay, I'm not getting anywhere here, because it's always this vicious circle of waiting for the job and pitching and doing or not doing, which basically would be the biggest problem. But you won't get elevate your growth. Of course, you could post more ads, be more active online, and would get much more offers. But you would always be the vendor, which puts you in a position, which is not very desirable, at least for me. But it's up to you. So in the end, it's always a transactional relationship for everybody. So you get something and you deliver something, but it's not that you are the partner or the one who would be asked the next time, because they might just ask somebody else. So this is basically the status quo, or where we are starting. Is this clear? I just ask you. Anis, what would you say?
Definitely.
Say?
I mean,
Yeah?
we just described the situation of our industry. It is a project-based industry, and we just do whatever the client is asking for. In another word, is a reactive business model. We wait for the inquiry, and
that's how it is. So the way I worked for a long time, or which I was doing for the most part kind of intuitively, was trying to elevate myself, or elevate my business into something which is more on a partner level. And this kind of worked out in that way that I would not have always this situation that I'm offering something. They would just come to me, or even better, we're starting something together, like some kind of a venture or something which is more than just a job, which would be a bigger project. So how do you get there? And this is basically what this boils down to. And when we get into the mastermind, we would get deeply into this, and we would go through this together. But I just present this as kind of a framework here. So it's 3 parts. It would be the audit, basically, where you find out who are you working with, what does the turnover or the ROI bring in your company. You would pick some of them and set up this the alliance architecture, basically. I call it this kind of how does it work? And then in the end, it's how would you elevate yourself into the authority framework, which would mean getting from the simple alliance to somebody who is in a position of not being the one who's being asked, but being the one who's the man for the job, basically, or the woman. So is this clear so far? Anis, what do you
Yeah,
think?
definitely. I mean, to me, it is important for people to know, like, we are here just presenting the framework.
Yeah,
You will go with each individual once they come to the mastermind to
yeah,
sample these three, I would say, pillars for this framework. And I'm interested about maybe now what got my curiosity is like you classify the contacts by ROI, and then you have like 15 notes to define what is the power circle. Okay.
no, yeah, it's more like you classify them by ROI or by two other factors, and then you pick like for the beginning 15 of them. I mean, if you have a much bigger company, maybe you would
Yeah.
pick 20, but having 10 to 15 would be some number you would handle in the beginning to just
Yeah.
nurture the relationship, calling them, meeting them, setting something up, making a concept of how would this work out, or what would be the benefits, what can you bring to the table, what would you need from them. So that's basically
Yes.
I think
Definitely.
a handleable number. So
Yeah. So the main benefit I see from this is that anyone is going, I mean, people are going to evaluate their clients based on numbers, based on
yeah,
data, more
yeah.
than just like gut feelings.
Yeah, but the gut feeling is also something which is not.
It is also a factor.
It's a factor, because in the end you want to be in a partnership with somebody you actually like to share a room with. So it's important, but of
Yeah.
course it's also the numbers. You know, if you have somebody who is like only bringing like 1% of your income, of your yearly income, but is taking all your time, this might not be worth it. So
Yeah.
be much more reserved if you call it the next time. So, but I would just go to the next slide, which is basically handling this audit thing. So what are you doing? So I have this little matrix here, but it's very self-explanatory. But what you're doing, you would audit your contacts. You would list them up and score on 3 axes, like the capital, like the market that it's in, and the axis of how much you would get, basically have the ability to contact them in the end. You know, how close are you with them, which is basically the gut feeling, kind of. You know,
Okay.
it's like, can you talk with him about his project? Is this something he would like to share with you, or would this be just? Or basically, it's more like, are they approachable and willing to be on an eye level with you, or and that's basically the gut feeling. You know, are you in the position to even think about it? So that's what this is about. So, and of course, that's what I just said. If somebody is not giving any benefit for you, or even zero, or very, very little, you just X them out of your list, and then you would basically have also like a super 8-tier contacts, which you would consider like the most important ones. But that's basically clear. So then what you actually do is you would try to bring them into this matrix of how are they accessible? Are they warm? Like, are you in contact with them already, or are they basically you don't have access and they're cold? So like somebody who was like never never contacting you anymore. You would eliminate and just try to focus on those who are accessible, you are speaking with already, and who are basically bringing okay money to your company, which is basically the easy way. And there would be others, like you could of course, if you have a good access but you haven't talked to them any longer, so you could just try to bring them into this circle, which is the node system, which is very basic, but it just means, okay, you would see a potential working with them on a partnership partner level, or so that's basically the audit, which is going through a list of your clients and trying to find out who of them would be worth putting effort into, getting them into some kind of partner level or something, which is a much closer relationship than just just waiting for them to call you. That's basically it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you already, let's assume that you already had 15 nodes, and based on these nodes, one of them or maybe two of them is gut feeling plus warmth of relationship, the access, all of this, and you arrived with scoring. How do you decide? I mean, what are the ranges for the A, B, and C? And on the right side, I see 4 cells, I would say, a table of 4 fields. And so does it mean that the low access, low warmth is not included into the tiers?
Yeah, it is somehow. I mean, after all, it is a bit. There's a data. There is a bit of feeling, and then there's the story you have with them, and also do you want to work in that field? I mean, of course, it could be
Yes.
an intention. You know, if there could be somebody who is giving you a lot of income, but you are not very keen to get more into this industry for different reasons. So yes, this looks like very data driven. It is in a way, but in the end, you would build a hierarchy of a list of who's on top based on these data points, and who is not very approachable, not in your interest, and not bringing money. So it's a range. Yeah, and the nodes, of course, nodes in this term is would be one node would be one client, basically. It's not.
Okay.
That's
So,
maybe misunderstanding.
yes, I understand now. So it means like the power circle is going to be around 15, or
Yes.
maybe 10 to 15.
It's 10 to 15. It could be only 5 if it's enough for you, but I would try to get to that number, basically, because
Okay. So it
stability
means, let's assume I have a studio and I came to the mastermind.
Yeah.
Am I promised with me sitting with you and they're trying to get clear on my power circle? So I leave the mastermind with a rated client list and defining these are my power outer circle, and these are the actions I need to take to tell them that you are into the power circle and these are your benefits. Because now we need to also talk about, yes, I define the power circle,
Yeah.
but how do I make them a power circle? Like, what should I do?
That's the next step. But I mean,
Yeah.
thing is, the biggest insight. I mean, I did this some time ago, and I was building some. I was basically I was doing doing a controlling session and putting all my for the tax advisor all my my invoices in a list, and had some diagram, and I saw, okay, this one client, I would talk a lot with them, but they only have a very small share in the yearly income, whilst the other one who had just basically taking this whole ship afloat is somebody who is not doesn't feel so important. So that's basically the key here, that you make a list and see, okay, this is basically somebody I need for this, and this is somebody also I would like to work with more, but maybe I didn't emphasize them that much because the other guy with all the small projects which don't bring any income, taking all my time. So that's basically something to come clear for yourself. I mean, of course, you would communicate this to them, but probably it's much better to be a little bit more subtle on this, not saying, "Hey, dear client, you're now part of the power circle." It's more like that's which is coming now. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. This is basically how you would approach it, and it's. I mean, this is very very theoretical, and of course you could do this much more in a feely way, but having this at one point laid out could be interesting. And this is also something which encourages you to think about what are your clients' needs actually, instead of waiting for them figure it out for themselves and call you. Just try to figure out party B, your partner, or your client or your prospective partner, what they might need, or what they want to have, or you did for somebody else, but they don't know about it, and maybe they could need it. So that's basically what this is about. You bring something, right to logistics, but it could also be a product or some skill or something you bring to the table. They provide you with data, which means input, like having some building project. They are a project developer, for example, and they're building something. They bring data, and they bring capital, and you bring basically something which they don't have. Probably you bring something which is important for us, for example, being a good provider in design work, or a good provider in digital presentation things, which is something they don't have, but they maybe want to have on their branding, or on the way they are perceived in the outer world. So that's basically, but this again is something which lets you examine your portfolio, or your product portfolio, or what you could do for them or with them in a very structured way. So that's basically something. Also, like, I mean, for example, this capital thing, for example, this could also be okay. We both invest into something, for example, some software product we are building together, or some rendering, or some film or something, and you could say, okay, dear client, I know this is could be very very expensive, doing this with you together. Let's share the risk, for example, and I provide you with this product on a lower rate, and I get compensated when this is successful, for example, which would be some partnership in a way, That's something people are doing, and I did also in the past, and doing still.
Yeah. Can you? I mean, if you don't have example, it's okay. Can you give us an example? I mentioned you when you told me once an example that was very, I would say, straight to the point, maybe goes aligned with what you just presented.
For example, I'm just working on a product which is it's something like a click funnel with AI generated visualizations during the process, working with the user input, and delivering in the end some marketing material, which is done on the fly. Thing is, here it was a very experimental thing, and I came to this by a client asking me, "Hey, I have this idea. Can you do this?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. Let's try, and let's figure it out." And this was a very, for example, a very fulfilling process in the end, because, and in this case, this is basically what happened here. You know, I brought all my knowledge and logistics of how you would do this, how would you approach this. They brought some data, and they brought also capital for this, and I brought a will to experiment with them, and they also brought kind of the will to experiment with me together, without having a clear brief in the beginning, like saying, okay, this is what we need. It was like, okay, we have this idea, let's figure out how we do this and if this can be done. So that's basically something which is, I mean, I said this is very theoretical, but you can, and I believe if you look inside your client list and the projects that you've done, and you the things you might have were short of, or the things you did not do but kind of were up to do. It could be something which could be worth looking into and thinking, okay, what can be done to offer this to somebody else, and saying, okay, we tried this at the one point, maybe this is something for you, or I did this for you, like in kind of a pre-work. I did you did a lot of renderings for a project, and then you offer them, hey, I started to do this animation of this, do you like it? Do you want to go further? They will say, okay, that's great. In this case, your investment would be, okay, I'm working on something, and show it to them, and they would say, okay, thank you, let's go on with it. Or they would say, no, we don't need this. But this is also something what I mean with the risk structures in this case, that you do something which is not really asked for, but could be needed later, which is
yeah, definitely. So yeah, I mean, it is definitely not something people can figure out quickly. They need to have some sort of a power circle. This power circle should provide them with the feedback, or at least the inputs, okay, what they might need, and then you figure out the logistics, data, brand equity, and the capital, and all of that.
yeah, the most important is that, I mean, of course, this makes only sense if you have the feeling that your client is approachable for this. You know, if this, but that's something you could work on, and be proactive, and showing them, hey, you liked our last work. How do you like this, for example? So that's could be interesting to see what happens then, and not being. I mean, we all talk. I mean, we have to consider that we're talking all the time about how to get out of this vicious I wait on the phone and it doesn't ring circle. So that's basically an approach. Okay.
Okay.
How are we time-wise? Are we still in?
So we are almost on time. I mean,
almost on time. It's almost half. So then I just do this quick. It's the last slide is the authority framework, and that's something I'm it's which I'm close to achieve, which is like being on the level with them, with these partnerships. I went in this where they don't really they don't ask for a project, for a specific project. It's more like we're talking about what's doing next, what are we doing next together. It's like more a circle where you would be in a discussion, how can we bundle our skills and our capital and our mindset and our work basically to achieve something bigger. And this is basically what this is about. It's kind of one of the most important things is like the card approval seeking language entirely. So being more like, okay,
Yes.
dear friend, I have this, let's do this, and they would say, okay, cool. So it's not like waiting for them to come and ask me, how do you like it? It's more like, hey, I need you for this. Are you interested?
Great. So if we would summarize everything, it all starts by, I would say, rating your network based on the criteria we talked about, and then defining who you should invest more time with, who should you invest more time to get to the level you want, who should you neglect or deprioritize. And the last thing is you have a clear idea who is your power circle, and then you start developing a relationship as peer-to-peer with this power circle so that you are a partner with them, not more like a vendor to them.
Yeah.
And I know it's not a straightforward thing to know how to be a partner. Okay, we need always to find a new way. What I just want to say that for any viewer that is viewing this session, when you come to the mastermind, you will listen to a lot of case studies from people who attended here. Many of my clients are going to be here and they will tell you how they managed to be a partner, as well as I know that Lasse also has 2 other stories he told me about them. He can also share. They will be more presentable. I mean, you will have the screen, you can present, or maybe in case you can. I'm not really sure if it is possible that you show what your approach with your clients about. You mentioned something about the land, finding the value of the land,
Yeah.
something like this. So anyway, he did it like as someone who is in his client's shoes, looking to help himself. So it's like beyond being just a service provider. The last thing is like once you come to the mastermind, we will have like one day completed just for nurturing and keeping and growing your network from the same market. Lasse, do you have any other words or promise to the people who will come to the mastermind?
Yeah, I mean, thing is, the best thing is sorry, I'm switching to German. The best thing is always being on hands-on on this on the actual problem or case or whatever you may call it, and going through this and thinking about, okay, how can we? I mean, it could also be the case that somebody is doing this already and it's not working out at all because he is not a partner person or doesn't want to be close. And but after all, there might be a solution for this as well. So I mean, thing is, we all are in this business for some reason, and we do this because we like something about this, and there could be, well, I'm pretty sure there is something everybody would find to be excited about and excite the others with this. So it's I mean, what I want to say, I mean, I had at one point I had discussion with a 3D studio owner who was saying, yeah, it's all nice and fair what you're saying about going out and talking to them. I don't like to talk with people, so that's, I mean, fair enough. But there's also a way. I mean,
Yes.
you would not have to be wearing a very beautiful, colorful coat and be like, you know, the
Yeah.
super dandy and hey, I have a project. It would work differently. And to be honest, I mean, I'm not the most dandyish person as well either. So but
Okay.
also I found out a way to get around with this. I mean,
Okay.
you know.
Perfect. So this session was the part number 2 about what we will cover in the mastermind. Next week we will talk about one big thing that I think very few people have clear idea about, which is what does it mean to be a founder? What does it mean to make a studio? What is the structure? How to know the right roles for yourself? How to manage the studio? What is your real job? Is it still doing 3D? Art director? Looking for new clients? Managing client relationships? So we will talk about these things next week. Until next week, stay healthy. Hopefully, if the war doesn't really spread out and come to Europe, we will see each other. Goodbye, everyone. See you next week.